Good morning. Welcome to Books at the Bottom of the Stairs. Steve and I are going on an adventure. We're celebrating how many years?
28.
28 years in Halifax. So typically we go out for breakfast with the kids and have a sort of review of the year and a what you're hoping for next year event. But the kids have been out of the house for a few years now, so it's just Steve and I, and we are going to a new to us cafe that is supposed to have books. Now, typically, whenever I try and do these kinds of videos, the computer just completely lets me down. So, this could be the end of the video, or maybe I'll see you at the Open Book Cafe. Bye-bye. Yes. Well, we made it, and the computer is still working. And I think this is an arm of Nimbus Publishing, which I guess is kind of a clever idea, right? If you're a publisher, open up a bookstore, coffee shop. And here we go. Okay, here we go. Steve's about to be under arrest, but we are enjoying a little treat and about to have a confab about what we want to do in the next year. And then these are the shelves. They've got everything they've published or independent publishers that they distribute. Sorry, you're not in it, don't worry. Well, it's about a week after the previous video where we went to Open Books bookstore, cafe, I guess. It has been a zero reading week. My girlfriend Cheryl died on Friday, and that just took up all my brain space. So I did finish a book before she died, and I did like it. My energy level is pretty low. I'm sorry about that. I think I'm going away to Ottawa tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Steve's staying behind. I need a break from just all the phone calls and so forth that have had to take place, letting people know what happened. And Steve could use a break from me. And so we're just going to I'm going to visit my daughter, and he's going to just relax around the house. And while I'm in Ottawa, I have plans to visit a bookstore. But I'll tell you about that in just a second. While I was sort of waiting at hospitals and so forth, I did read Rebecca Thorne's Can't Spell Treason Without T. There we go. So this is one of the books that was recommended to my Woozles book club, where we've already pre-chosen the entire year's worth of books to read. And I put on hold all the books that looked like they had 49 holds or what have you, and they all showed up. And I was so not in the mood for some of the selections. There was some romance. I mean, they're fun. And I think in a different mood I'd probably enjoy them, but I had zero patience for them. And I was a little worried coming into this book because this is a cozy fantasy steeped with love. And did I tell you who wrote it? Yeah, Rebecca Thorne. I don't have a problem with a cozy fantasy, but it was just directly on the heels of 3 romances that were supposed to be cozy and comedic, and I thought, well, those didn't work. So I was a little nervous. What we have here is Raina, who is an assassin. Well, not an assassin. She is a guard in the Queen's entourage, and she has killed somebody who was trying to assassinate the Queen, and the Queen is making a comment that you can kill my guards, they're all replaceable. And Raina's been risking her life for this Queen forever, and is just like, that's just a bit too much, Queen, I'm out of here. So she runs away from the court, and in the background, she's been building a romantic relationship with Chianthe, who is the archmage of the country that they live in. And she is sort of above politics because she is the most powerful person in that whole I'm assuming it's a universe. And so she's above politics, and her job is to prevent natural disasters and things of that nature. So the queen can't control Chianthe, but she's trying to do all those political things that would make Chianthe loyal to the queen, so that the queen can be more queenie. So she kind of runs away too. She doesn't need to run away because she's not beholden. The two of them end up in a small town called Tawny, and they open up a tea shop and a bakery, sort of like croissants and that sort of thing. And of course, Rhaena is wanted by the queen. She's committed treason by running away. So there's all the building of the bookshop, and there's all the developing new friendships and in the town, and then there's also dragons up in the hills, and there's of course the on the ground politics and avoiding things and avoiding getting in trouble. And it's a nice story. It has some, what was that one, something about Lot, there's that coffee that made with two L-A-T-T, lattes. I was going with latkes. And I can't remember what the title of the book was, but I've read book 1 and the prequel and enjoyed those. There are some similarities with respect to the bookshop and the development of romance. And one of the things that I like about this is it's not an insta-love thing, and it's not a enemies to friends things. These two have fallen in love prior to the book, so we are sort of early relationships because they've never had an opportunity to be open about their relationship, and so now they're living together. They've kind of gone from being in secret to now all of a sudden living together. So there's some fun about wet clothes on the floor and just those kinds of things that we all encounter when we're in first relationships. So there's also how to manage your professional life. Rhaena just wants to bake the croissants and serve the tea and enjoy small town life. And Chianthe keeps getting called to do her job, and because she's imbued with the magic, she can't say no. Okay, so that's basically the book. I enjoyed it. It was well written. I would give it about a 4 out of 5. Partly the mood I'm in, but also it's not really meant to be an amazing book. It's meant to be an enjoyable remove from whatever's on your mind. Well, I think a lot of us read because we're trying to go somewhere else. And so it successfully offered that escape. I did pick up book 2. I don't really have a clear plan as to when I'm going to read that. A Pirate's Life for Tea is book number 2. And I'm not sure. They're hunting for dragon eggs. Oh, yeah, that's right. The dragons in the first book are searching for some missing eggs, and so that's why they keep coming in and attacking the towns, because they know that that's where the eggs were last seen. And so in the second book, the Chianthe and Rhaena are hunting for the dragon eggs, and they join forces with a pirate, or a constable determined to capture the pirate. And that apparently is a complicated story. So I'll find out. It looks like it'll be just fine. So in brain is not working, brain is not clicking. Ottawa. I'm going to see my daughter, as I said, and I'm going to go for about, it's 3 or 4 nights, and I'm taking some really low Is that called Low-Hanging Grapes? I just don't know what my attention span is going to be like, and I know that also she has a few books on her bookshelves that I haven't read. So if I run into a boredom factor with my choices, I can pick something up there. Also, okay, I'll tell you about also in a second. So what I have chosen to choose between is Martin the Warrior, A Tale of Redwall by Brian Jacques. This is a middle grade book. My kids read it, so boy, that's got to make it like close to 20 some odd years old, 1993. So that was when it was published, but when would my kids have read it? Maybe a little bit later. So it's been quite a while since I've read it, because I used to read whatever the kids were reading. I enjoyed that. So this is a reread, and it's about these animals in the forest, and they are going to have a fight with a tyrant. Freedom at any cost. And Martin is a monk when he's not being a warrior. I think that's how it goes. The other one I've got, which I talked a few videos ago, is The Far Pavilions, which is also a reread for me. And I had thought that I would do it 12 pages at a time, which seemed very doable. And I figured it would take me to mid-April to read. I did the calculation, and I only read the first chapter, but I enjoyed the first chapter. I recognized some of the stuff that was happening, which is kind of interesting. You know how sometimes you read a book and you will go through it and you go, I recognize some of this stuff, but did I read it or didn't I read it? Or is this like a different book? And you kind of puzzle about it for, a couple of chapters, trying to think, did you read it or didn't you read it? And, well, I know I read this one, but the first chapter was like, oh yeah. So it must have made quite an impression the first go-around. And it was published first in 1978. So I probably would have read it in the 80s. So how long ago was 80s? Like it's 40 years ago. So anyways, I enjoyed the first chapter. So the question is just, do I want to take this big book with me, or do I want to take this little pocket book with me? Because on the return trip, what my hope is because it's Ottawa, it's a very, very bilingual city. And my daughter-in-law, who lives here in Halifax, we had a goal of reading some French books over the course of the summer and so on. And I've checked a bunch of the local bookstores, and the books are either primary for beginner French, and she has university. She almost has a minor in French. I'm not allowed to say she has a French degree because she's missing one course. And I have that first level of French plus my 5 years in high school. So we thought it would be fun to read a book together, and that way she could help me and it would get her back to practicing her French. And consequently, we haven't found anything in Nova Scotia. So my hope is that my daughter and I can pop into a few bookstores in Ottawa and see what we can find that's somewhere in the middle of the road. Short, because in case I get frustrated. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm looking for. And luckily, Ryan is open to any kind of plot, because I think she would probably head towards ghosts or really spooky stuff, or like gothic-y kind of things. And I think that would be fun to do in a few books. I think right now I need something that's pretty plain and plot-driven, maybe some character in it. But I just need a fairly simple plan of attack for this, and then hopefully we'll develop more complex reading projects. So that's it, I think. You know what? I think I didn't turn the battery on this mic off last time I used it. And I find this mic quite frustrating. I'm not convinced it does a ton, but there isn't any little light somewhere along the way to show that it's working, that it's on or off. Then also, once I plug it into the device, I don't have some kind of little icon that I can click on to say microphone functioning. So I'm finding it just frustrating. As I say, I don't know if it's actually accomplishing microphone duties. And I'm also struggling with the editing program. My technical world is very passé. So I think what's happened is the video program that the editing program that I use, I think has upgraded itself, and I, for some reason, can't use the new features, and I think that's what's happened. So between that and the mic not working 100%, I'm just struggling a little bit. So if the quality of the video when you get it is not as great as a few weeks ago, or maybe before Christmas, I am working on solving these problems. So that's it for me. I hope all your reading dreams and adventures continue to come true. And I will possibly see you from Ottawa. I'm hoping to video a little bit of the bookstores there. Bye-bye for now.